Hello. This is not a new playthrough, by the way. This is what if every single Saiyan survived Frieza's attack and killed him. Part 3. This time with a background that's not completely black. Apparently I already did that. Oh yeah, once in 7 days, I forgot. So yeah, this is just gonna be the background. So we made it past the Ginyu Saga. Because Goku, Vegeta, and Bardock killed Ginyu, and Piccolo and Nail, who fused on different terms than in the original anime, are now fused. Nappa, who's behind the Saiyan attack on Namek, he wished himself to be Super Saiyan. And it worked. So they actually used 3 wishes. And now, before Bardock is able to, or before they start moving towards Nappa, where they can sense him, Bardock senses something in his future vision. He sees someone, it looks like Frieza, but it's definitely not him. He's wondering who this could be, and he sees him just like beating up Super Saiyan, and he doesn't know who it is because it's in a first-person perspective. Yeah. So they're kinda really, or he tells Goku and Vegeta about it, and they're pretty skeptical about what's going on because they have no idea who it could be or how powerful he could be. So they are very cautious about what's going to happen. Now, Nappa starts flying over to where his kind of headquarters are on the planet, and tells them that he's going to be the true king in a while, explaining that he has finally been the one in the past 1,000 years to finally achieve a Super Saiyan form. Now, around the time that he gets back, Goku, Bardock, and Vegeta are on their way over to where the highest amount of power levels are. And when they get there, they all see Bardock and Goku and realize who they are, and the Saiyans let them through, no questions asked. And one of the Saiyans, who I'm gonna bring in another character from like a fan manga, Papole, which was a Saiyan very, very loyal to Frieza, warns him about how Nappa achieved Super Saiyan, and Bardock thinks, so he's the one who's going to be beaten up by this Frieza lookalike. And then Nappa walks out the door, knowing that Bardock is there because of the commotion. And they see him walking around out, and he doesn't have his Super Saiyan transformation on right now because he can't 100% control it yet. But yeah, he can sense that there's something, or they can sense that there's something different about him, and Vegeta decides to go first. He starts trying to wail away at him, and then halfway through pummeling Nappa pushes him away and shows that he's like barely even hurt. And pretty much indicating to Vegeta that he's not going down as easily as he thinks he's going to. So then Vegeta powers up to 100%, and Nappa powers up to 100%. And now is when, or by the way, when I'm talking 100% for Nappa, I'm not talking about 100% in Super Saiyan, I'm just talking about his normal 100%. So yeah. So then, pretty much, they're on equal footings. And Vegeta is wondering how someone like Nappa could have surpassed him when he was the one trying to surpass Bardock, and because he was from the original royal bloodline, he should be the one closest to becoming a Super Saiyan, and doesn't want to see someone become a Super Saiyan before him, so he's fighting with pretty much all he's got. So yeah. Now, how should I put this? Yeah. Nappa and Vegeta both lose the top of their suit, so you know things are going on. Right around this time, Vegeta gets way too tired to go on, and Bardock starts trying to fight Nappa, but then Goku stops him, saying that he wants to do it, and so they get distracted by a rock, paper, scissors thing to figure out who's going to beat Nappa. That they don't notice that someone, specifically King Cold, landed on the planet. So yeah, and I'm not talking like the second form that we see on Earth. He's in his first form, and he's about as powerful as second form Frieza, and they can all sense this. I'm getting tired. Well, let's do some summons. So, yeah. So King Cold's on the planet, and he's got not a lot of his men, but he has some pretty powerful ones with him. Okay. So they're using their scouters and figuring out where where the smaller power levels are, and are killing off a lot of the weaker Saiyans, and some Saiyans are uh, flying back to the base, at which King Cold is sending some of his men after them to spy on their base. And well, they do their job pretty well because their power levels blend in with a lot of the Saiyans, and they're communicating back to King Cold, telling them where it is, if they hear anything out of the ordinary, or anything about a plan, or anything about how they know that he's on the planet. Well, Bardock wins the rock, paper, scissors against Goku, who is pretty upset about it and goes over to Vegeta and picks him up and brings him off to the side so that they can both rest. Well, now Bardock is going about half power and is still doing better against full power Nappa than full power Vegeta was, but he's still losing a little. So, yeah. Now Bardock's up at 100% and is beating down on Nappa, and then Nappa can't take it anymore, so he goes Super Saiyan. And this is when King Cold is pointing his scouter in that direction, and his scouter breaks. So now he wants to go check it out. So he tells his men to attack, and they start attacking about the time where Bardock and Nappa have pulled away from a clash. And they both notice that now they have a common enemy, because Bardock gets another vision and sees King Cold in his second form. So now Nappa powers down from Super Saiyan, and they're all beating on King Cold's men, and they see King Cold, and they're pretty confused about what's going on. They were sure that Frieza was dead, but this man looks pretty much like him, as he's in his first form. And then he powers up to his second form, which is as powerful as the final form, Frieza. Then again, that's like the last that we know about him. We don't know if he has any other forms, but some things like Dragon Ball Multiverse do have him having a final form, and even a Cooler's ascended form, and even an ascension form above that. And that is pretty much what gets them pretty riled up with what's going on around them, because they're sensing this huge power level, and we're just going to say that he only has that second form. And and they're seeing him beat down on a lot of their men that to the saiyans were like top ranked and pretty much killing them with a slap, while his men are almost doing the same thing. They're taking some pretty big beatings. Not a lot of them are dying. In fact, most of them are fighting back pretty well, actually. But yeah. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the game when I should be focusing on the other stuff. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, and this stuff pushes like Bardock to fight harder, because he was the one who fought so that these people could survive, and now they're under attack by another Frieza, or at least a Frieza lookalike, and he doesn't want it to happen again. And yet, something's still on his mind. He has no idea who that Super Saiyan warrior who was getting beat up by this guy was. And then Nappa goes Super Saiyan and tries to fight King Cold, but doesn't last very long, and Bardock is wondering, was it him? No, I was too fast. He saw more than that. And so Vegeta gets back up and then tries to fight King Cold, but is slapped aside. Not killed, but still pretty injured, so much that I'd probably say he shouldn't fight. And then Bardock starts attacking him at full power, and it's not doing very well. But he won't let off. He wants to just get done with this Frieza family. He wants them to stop causing all of this pain and suffering to people. So he stupid me. He pushes his power to as far as he can make it go, and then starts fighting as if it were not just his life on the line, but his entire race, his entire planet. And then he thinks about Gine and Raditz and Goku, and how without them, if he was the only Saiyan alive, he probably would, even if he had the power to defeat Frieza, he wouldn't have the will to. He's seeing just how weak, metaphorically, he really is. But then he powers up even more, past what even he thought he could do. But he's not quite a Super Saiyan yet. Don't get like all hyped up about, ooh, Bardock Super Saiyan already. I mean, you'll eventually get it. This is Dragon Ball. But, yeah. So, he's getting beat away, and then King Cold does something he shouldn't, which is threaten the extinction of not just the Saiyan race on Namek, but the Saiyan race everywhere else, which means that he probably knows about Gine and Earth, and so he gets way too angry to fight correctly, and Goku kicks him out of the way and starts telling him that he's too out of control. If he were in more control, he would let him fight. It's his turn now. And now Goku's fighting at full power, and yet with a calm mind. And Bardock is noticing this. Maybe, just maybe, Goku is the one who's supposed to become a Super Saiyan and not him or any other Saiyan on Namek. Or anywhere else. Now, Goku doesn't know right now the significance of a Super Saiyan. All that he was told from Vegeta and Bardock is that it's supposed to be a legendary warrior that only the best of the best Saiyans are able to do. And yet it hasn't been seen in so long that they're not sure if it's just a legend or if it's actually true. Now, Bardock realizes that since Goku is drifted from his Saiyan past that he knew nothing about, he's a lot more like Gine than anything else. He still fights like your normal Saiyan and would rather fight, which makes him his own person more than just like Gine. Because if he were 100% like Gine, then he would not fight at all, except for in dire situations. And he notices this, and Krillin and Gohan and Piccolo start making their way over to this huge power level and meet there about the same time. And right about the time where he's getting about the time where Goku's starting to get a little bit overpowered by King Cold. they arrive, and you know what, I'm gonna do one more thing, and then I'm gonna do one more little rant of this, and then I'm gonna leave you guys there for the next one. I'm gonna say this. Piccolo starts fighting alongside Goku so that it's more of a fair fight. And he starts getting pushed back, or King Cold starts getting pushed back, but then realizes that Krillin and Gohan are weaker than anyone else there, and that they would be easier targets. So he distracts them by jumping back and complimenting just how powerful they've gotten. And although Piccolo notices that this is probably a trap or something, he he's going along with it because he knows that if Goku stopped fighting, he's not gonna get a chance to beat on King Cold without pretty much dying. And then halfway through, he puts his hands behind his back and then shoots a huge blast towards Gohan and Krillin, and Piccolo jumps out towards that, towards Gohan, and gets hit in the leg by it, which makes it deflect and hit Krillin. And Krillin's death, of course, brings out the legendary warrior within Goku, Super Saiyan. And that, or just like Frieza, blowing Krillin up, and that is how we end it today. I will see you all in the next one, hopefully.